recently quite a few people have been asking on our comments, our Instagram and other places, what happened to the motorhome. So today we're going to tell you what happened to the motorhome. Why did we buy one and why did we get rid of one? Well, one of the reasons that we bought one, because we just wanted to try it out. We wanted to try something different from being the Caravan, and although we love the Caravan, it does have some negatives for us as a family at the moment. So the biggest negative that we have from the Caravan is it is a bit of a faff to go and pick up, get set up at the house and re-hitch it, etc, etc, go to the campsite, and at the end it can also be a pain. Now that's great if we're going for a week or a long period of time, but because of the girls dancing, they dance on a Saturday and they dance most of that day, a lot of the time we can't go away easy on a weekend. So what that means that in order to go weekend, we'd have to pick up the Caravan, pick up the girls at like 4 o'clock from dancing, drive somewhere, go for one night, unhitch all the stuff, setting that acro roll up, all that kind of stuff. It takes quite a while, and then the next day later on come back that day, or probably pay for 2 nights but only get one. So the idea was with a camper van or a motorhome, we'd be able to go away on that same day and we would be able to make best use of the time, because we could go away quite easily, park up for the night, and then the next day we could just park up in a car park and we can use the motorhome. That was the idea. So we bought the motorhome, we looked around for ages. We wanted one that was 6 belts, that had 6 proper seats, availability for 6 people to sleep as well, and aircon in the cab. Now that took a long time to find out. So we found the motorhome that we got. It wasn't perfect in every way, but it was reasonable. Originally it was on for about 30,000. We got it through Motorhome Depot, who are kind of like a broker for people, and we paid £27,000 for it. Now that was a pretty good deal, I thought, for the motorhome. But what became apparent is not long after we bought the motorhome was the amount of expense the motorhome would cost, which to be fair I think it wouldn't have been much different from the Caravan, because we would have kept it at home, so we would have saved a lot of money as well. But one of the biggest things that was going to be an expense was, if you think about this Caravan we're sat in now, this Caravan's worth, I don't know, on the private market maybe 18,000, so in a 2017 Bailey Palermo. If we then bought that, it was £27,000, plus we needed other things doing to it to make it up to the standard we wanted. You've probably talked near £30,000. So essentially you're saying 12 to 13,000 on top debt for a motorhome than it is for the Caravan. And again, if you're a motorhomer, you could say, well, you could sell your car, but we can't. We've got 3 children. We need a big car to be able to use. So the costs like they're going to be quite expensive. At the same time, as we all know at the moment, prices of things like fuel started going up and up a bit more than we wanted to. We thought, well, actually, you know, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I'm a teacher, and in the public sector, we've pretty much in the past 10, 11 years, while there's been the current Tory government, don't want to get too much politics, we've hardly had a pay rise. Or when we have had a pay rise, it's been below inflation. So again, this year, the price of things has gone up about 10%. What inflation is hitting, but yet we've had no pay rise, and that's probably the same for a lot of you. So I'm not really trying to grumble too much about that, but that meant that we'd have to lose 10% of our wages effectively. So because that meant that we'd have to spend an extra £100 and something a month on the motorhome plus other things, it just probably wasn't going to be economically viable unless every time we went away we would use a kind of park up. We wouldn't really use campsites as much. So it could have been possible. The other thing is that my wife Lucy, she didn't really like, I mean, the thing is about the Palermo, and I'll show you on the camera now, it is a good looking Caravan both inside and out. It's got lovely nice light wood, gloss doors, massive fridge freezer, all the things we'd really want in maybe a kind of motorhome if we could afford one. But if you think this is 18,000, if you wanted a 2017 similar size, maybe tag axle or just below that, we'd be paying somewhere in the region of £40,000 to £50,000 for that. So that's not something really viable for us. So she didn't really like the wood. The other thing is she wasn't so sure about the bed. So the bed was at the back. It was quite high up. So because that was quite a little bit of a way behind the back axle, it was quite bouncy. So we could have, in theory, put on some steadies, but that kind of defeats the point a little bit of having the motorhome, because it still means you have to get to the site, put the steadies down. So yeah, it kind of had its swings and roundabouts. So a kind of combination of the fact that Lucy didn't particularly like the decor in it and wasn't really sure. So we went from a 2017 Caravan here to a 2008 motorhome, and the fact that the costs were going to be quite prohibitive. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in the next few weeks anyway is like the general cost of caravanning and how that's impacting us and how that's impacting you. So even our summer trip this year, we've decided to actually modify it. So yeah, there was one thing was the original difference in money we're paying, the decor, and the fact that we didn't like the fixed bed at the back. I think ideally if we could have any kind of motorhome, it would probably be something like the Roman Radfords, and I'll put a link down below to their channel, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already watch. Or it would be something like the Rolling Rooks, just without the knackered floor that their manufacturer put in. But they would be kind of the styles of things that we want, which would be great, or even an Eldest 196 if they're watching. But again, we're talking £50,000 to £55,000, and given the fact we're in a massive cost of living crisis, we just can't justify the cost of that. So, what's next for the Robsons? Well, I think for the time being, we're going to definitely stick with the Caravan. We don't have a lot of debt on this still to pay, about £3,000 I think we owe, and it's worth about 18. So we're definitely in positive equity. And we might consider possibly getting a camper van, or we might even consider getting a separate van and just doing a very basic build so that we can use it for those one nights when we want to.